I woke up on a cold street, but nothing around me felt right. The cars were too small. The doors were too low. Even the glowing signs looked like they had been carved by claws. I stood up slowly and looked around. Raccoons were driving cars. Foxes were running shops. Wolves guarded the sidewalks. And the humans walked with their heads down, like speaking was forbidden. Before I could run, a tall dog officer stepped into my path. His uniform lights blinked softly in the fog. He stared at me and said, "Human, why are you outside your zone?" I had no answer. Then something small jumped from the shadows. An orange cat landed between us, wearing a torn blue scarf. He looked at the officer and said, "Leave him." The cat pulled me into a narrow alley behind the market. "My name is Milo," he said. On the wall, an old poster showed a glowing circle. "You came through one of these." Milo led me to a rooftop and pointed across the city. At the center stood a palace shaped like a lion's head. "The only portal home is under that palace," he whispered. We climbed down from the rooftop and slipped into a hidden alley. Milo moved fast, never looking back. I followed him because in that world, he was the only one who knew I existed. Milo stopped on a metal crate and looked straight at me. "Listen carefully," he said. "Humans do not survive here unless someone protects them, and I cannot protect you forever." He showed me a fence at the edge of the district. Behind it, humans carried crates, repaired machines, and walked in silence. They looked alive, but none of them looked free. A little girl behind the fence saw me. She did not scream. She placed one finger over her lips, then pointed toward the palace. Her eyes were telling me to stay quiet. Above the city, a giant screen flickered to life. An old lion appeared, his face scarred and calm. His voice rolled over every street. "Order is peace. Humans brought chaos." Milo looked away from the screen. For the first time, he did not seem brave. He seemed ashamed. I realized this cat knew more about the palace than he wanted to say. Years ago, Milo had lived inside the palace. He was not a street cat then. He carried messages through golden halls, past statues, guards, and doors most animals never saw. He listened from balconies while wolves, foxes, owls, and dogs made decisions below. The palace looked beautiful, but every beautiful room had a locked door somewhere inside it. One night, Milo found a hidden archive. Inside was a glowing file case filled with portal diagrams. He expected maps. Instead, he found proof that the rulers had lied to everyone. Below the palace was a chamber of portals. Each one opened to another world. A desert, a jungle, a frozen mountain, a human city. This city was not the first world. Milo watched confused humans step through the light. Wolf guards guided them away before they understood what had happened. They were not rescued. They were taken. When Milo tried to expose the truth, the palace took his sister. She was locked behind glass, close enough for him to see, but too far for him to save. Back in the alley, Milo told me everything. His voice was calm, but his eyes were not. He was not helping me only because I needed to go home. I looked toward the palace, then back at Milo. I was afraid, but he had risked himself for me. So I said the only thing that felt right. "Then we save her." That night, we found an abandoned subway entrance hidden between two buildings. The stairs disappeared into darkness. Milo went first. I followed because the way home was below the palace. The air changed as we went down. It smelled like rust, water, and old electricity. Every broken light above us flickered like it was trying to warn us to turn back. We walked beside rusty rails for what felt like hours. Milo stayed low and alert. I kept hearing sounds behind us, but every time I turned, the tunnel was empty. Then we heard it, a small mechanical voice echoing from the dark. Milo froze. I held my breath. Something blue was glowing under a pile of broken pipes. Under the pipes was a small broken robot. One blue eye blinked weakly. "Please do not recycle me," it said. Milo sighed like this was the worst possible time for a new problem. I pulled the pipe away carefully. The robot stood up, wobbling on short metal legs. Milo kept his distance, but I could tell he was already thinking the same thing I was. The robot looked at me and scanned my face with a blue beam. "Unregistered human detected," it said. "Probability of survival, 3%. Milo said, "Great," a cheerful one. The robot's name was B-17, but Milo called him Bolt. Bolt had once worked inside the palace. He knew service tunnels, locked doors, and the path to the portal chamber. Bolt projected a blue map of the tunnels under the palace. The path twisted through service doors, drone routes, and security gates. The safest way in was still extremely dangerous. We followed the map deeper underground. Ahead, the palace foundation rose like the roots of a giant machine. Every pipe, cable, and wall seemed to lead toward the same blue gate. 2 security drones passed overhead, scanning the tunnel with blue light. We hid behind pipes without breathing. Bolt dimmed his eye. Milo pressed himself flat against the floor. At the service door, a wolf guard blocked the entrance. Milo stepped out first. He looked tiny in front of the guard, but somehow he still looked like the bravest one there. While Milo held the guard's attention, I crawled through a narrow vent. Every sound echoed. Every breath felt too loud. Below me, palace lights glowed through the metal grill. Bolt connected a cable to the door panel. Blue light spread across the lock. For 5 seconds, nothing happened. Then the service door opened with a soft hiss. The world changed on the other side. Dirty tunnels ended and white palace floors began. Everything was silent, polished and cold. We stepped inside like ghosts entering a king's dream. We moved through the palace corridor without speaking. Our reflections followed us across the polished floor. Milo watched every corner. Bolt listened to every invisible signal in the walls. Cameras turned above us like metal eyes. We pressed behind a marble column and waited. One wrong movement would bring the guards. One wrong sound would end everything. Bolt reached into a hidden panel and sent blue light through the system. One by one, the cameras went dark. For the first time, the palace looked blind. At the end of the corridor, we found a circular elevator door marked only by a glowing portal symbol. My heart started racing. We were finally below the palace. The elevator dropped silently into the earth. Behind the glass, machines stretched down for hundreds of feet. Blue cables pulsed like veins under the palace. Then the doors opened. I forgot how to breathe. Dozens of portals floated in the darkness, each one showing another world. The palace was not a castle. It was a gatekeeper. Then I saw it. My bedroom. My window. My old life glowing inside one portal. I reached toward it, and for 1 second, I thought the nightmare was over. The moment my hand touched the light, the chamber turned red. Alarms flashed across every wall. The portals flickered. Milo shouted my name, and Bolt's eye burned bright blue. A deep voice rolled out of the shadows. "You should not have come here." The Lion King stepped forward, old, scarred, and calm, like he had been expecting us all along. Bolt whispered that he could overload the system. It would open every portal at once, but it might destroy his core. I told him no. He answered, Survival is not always living. Every portal exploded open with light. Jungle rain, desert dust, snow, ocean mist, and city lights filled the chamber. Milo looked at me and yelled, "Choose now." Then everything went white.